Hello, and welcome back to the studio. I'm Dr. Wigo, and today I've got the Prompter XL from Elgato. Yes, a teleprompter. And you're wondering why I bought one. Well, there's a story. There's always a story. This video is going to be a little more complicated than usual because this thing is heavy, and when you put a camera on it, it gets like upwards of like 13, 14, 15 pounds, and I don't have a tripod that can hold that. That's not true. I have the tree root that I reviewed. I'll link that video down below. But it's really a travel tripod, and I don't want to tie up a $400 travel tripod to hold a teleprompter. So I'm also going to be unboxing and setting up a new tripod, a heavy-duty tripod that can handle the amount of weight this thing is going to put on it. And that'll take a minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the story about why I bought this. And you probably don't care. And if you don't care, just skip on to the next chapter where I will be unboxing and setting up the tripod. Again, not what you're here for. If you clicked on the thumbnail because you wanted to see the Prompter XL, well, then you're going to have to skip another chapter. And then we'll get to the unboxing of this. And then because it's probably going to take some time, I'm going to turn the cameras off and download and install the Camera Hub software that I will need in my MacBook Pro in order to use this thing. And this is not a software video. So then I guess the chapter after that, I'll be setting all this up and putting it on the new tripod. And then we'll try it out and see how it works. And I'm already expecting problems. This may turn into a two-part video. We'll see. I'll go as far as I can right now, and we may have to stop and come back next week and finish it off. That sounded dirty. Let's get this out of the way. Well, let's start with the story. If you've watched my videos, you may be saying to yourselves, why the hell does he need a teleprompter? He doesn't use scripts. Obviously. Most of my videos, I just turn the cameras on and start talking. I do run through it in my head beforehand for a couple of days, so there's kind of a script in my head, but nothing written down. Now, occasionally, my videos will be complicated enough where I'll need talking points, so I'll have a notes document or a words document with my major talking points in it. And then the worst case, when I have facts and figures and speeds and feeds and all that stuff to do, well, then I absolutely need notes. And that's where the problem comes in. And I've noticed I have to look down a lot because my notes are generally on my MacBook Pro or my iPad Pro down here on the table where you can't see it. But I can. But I have to look down. And in my M5 announcements video, I noticed that I was looking down a lot. I'm an old man. So even after I've read it and then look back up and start talking, I will forget the number or whatever it was I was supposed to say. And so I have to look down while I'm talking. And that's where the trouble comes in. So I thought for those kind of videos, a teleprompter would come in very handy. Did I need to buy an really expensive one? Absolutely not. We'll get to that in a minute. But I decided I needed some sort of teleprompter, especially because I have some books videos coming up. And in my books videos, I need publication dates and all this kind of stuff and prices and stuff. And so I need a whole lot of stuff on the screen. And if you've watched my books videos, I'm usually looking directly below the camera because I like stick it to a piece of paper. But again, I'm an old man, so I have to use big fonts and it's a pain in the ass. So I figured the teleprompter will help with that. That's going to bring all new problems because I'll have to carry the teleprompter from in here down to the library and back. Or maybe you'll start seeing books videos with this backdrop. So that's why I bought a teleprompter. Now, why did I buy this really big, expensive one? $600. For many reasons, the primary reason being it's the XL, extra large. It has a 15.6-inch display. And again, I'm an old man, so reading off of things is hard for me, especially the closer they are. So the iPad and the MacBook Pro right here in front of me, I have trouble reading without my reading glasses, which you'll hear me complain about in some videos. But I can have this thing far enough away that I'll be able to see. I can make the fonts as big as I need to because, again, 15.6-inch full HD display. It seems like a no-brainer, except for the price. But that includes that screen, and the screen plugs directly into your MacBook Pro or Windows machine if you're one of those people. And Elgato's Camera Hub software will take care of everything, and you can use the teleprompter not just as a teleprompter, you can use it as a second screen, so I can have things off of my MacBook Pro, which is right here in front of me, which is why I keep touching down in front of myself. But I can have whatever's on the screen on my MacBook Pro, I can put up there, or any app or anything I want, I can have on the teleprompter, use it as a second screen. Or you can use chat. Now, it only supports Twitch chat so far. They don't support the YouTube chat. But again, I could do that second screen, second display thing and put like a YouTube chat for when I live stream. Yeah, it's coming. I don't know when. I'm an old man. It takes me a while to get to stuff. But I am going to stream someday if I ever get enough subscribers. So click the button if you haven't already, because until I have enough subscribers, there's no way I'm going to waste time live streaming for 3 people. Yeah, I know you'll be there, Tim, and Brian, and Tony, and you know who you are, who will be there if I ever live stream. But that's going to be a while. Get me more subscribers. Get out there and hype me up. There's apparently a thing where you can hype small channels, so get out there and hype me up. Not this video. Ugh. One of my good videos. So that's why I bought a teleprompter, and that's why I bought the XL, because bigger, easier to read, old eyes. It seems like it hits all the buttons and then plugs straight into my laptop, which will now live here in the studio, because why should I haul it upstairs and downstairs? I use my iPad downstairs for almost everything. I almost never use the MacBook Pro anymore, but now I will. Anyway, so that's why I bought it. Let's get on to the tripod part, which of course I bought because I needed a heavy-duty tripod. At least it's easy to open. By the way, this is the TP74 professional video tripod, which is rated for, I think, 20, 30 pounds. More pounds than I need. I'll have the specs down below. And an associate link if you want to go buy one. It was only $94. Apparently, even big, heavy tripods come in bags for you to haul them around. I will not be hauling it around in a bag. Damn, it's heavy. Click the associate link below to see the specs and how heavy this thing is, but it's fairly hefty. Well, it sure looks heavy duty. I can't even get the plate into focus, but it's got a nice long plate, which again, I will need for the thing I'm going to be putting on it. Oh, you loosen this up here and you press, there we go. And you can put it in, tighten it back down. That's going to work out fine. Well, anyway, that's the TP74 professional tripod. I'm going to put this over here on the side for now. Now let's get to the main event. If I'm going to unbox big things, I may have to move my overhead camera up higher. So we're in the box. This is clearly the beam splitter glass, which has a mirror on one side and clear on the other, like police interrogation room, so it'll reflect the stuff off the screen, but the camera will see right through it. Then we've got a box. Oh, and look on the box, it tells there's screws in there. There's a plate in there. I believe this is the plate for you mount your camera on behind it. Step-up rings, which we'll need, and I'll show you in a minute. And the USB 3.2 cable, C to C, which you need to attach it to your MacBook Pro or Windows machine, because it has to do power and video and all that stuff, so it needs to be the high-speed 3.2 cable, not just any old cable will do. Then we have back plates. This is the one I'm going to use, where the camera will slide into that. We'll open all these boxes in a minute. Okay, here it comes. That's everything in the box. I'm running out of places to throw boxes up here. Well, that was exciting. I hit the support on my shelf and knocked it loose. Oh well, where were we? So this is the actual thing, but yes, this is a chunky boy. Now here's the part that's going to attach. Here's the part that's going to attach here, and if you notice, we have two different size. There's a 1/4 inch up here, a 1/4 inch back here, and a 3/8 inch here, and it looks like I've got a 3/8 inch here. Can I get the 3/8 inch here? And no, it won't reach that far. But I can do this one. I can put the 3/8 inch here. So like with many of my purchases, I bought the tripod I looked at like 2 and said, well, this one looks good. But I lucked out with the 3/8 and the 1/4 inch here, because now I have 2 points of screws down. So this thing is going to attach this tripod like a rock. Then here, this is where the back plate will go. And we'll get to what those all look like. They'll screw in here. There's a screw here. That's going to be for the camera thing. We'll get to that in a minute. Oh, and look on top. The original Elgato Prompter, which was much smaller, it was like a 7-inch screen. This is like a 15.6-inch screen. It had 2 little cold shoe mounts, but this has like a cold shoe rail. So you can attach all sorts of things, which I will be doing, because one of the things that this is going to do is it's going to block my little flippy screen on the camera, so I won't be able to see what's going on in the camera. So I'm going to have to use something like this little guy, which right now I'm using for this overhead, but I'll use that, put that up here, and then I can see what's going on in the camera, which means I'll have to buy another monitor for up here, which I've already done. I bought a bigger one. That'll be a future video. Or if this one turns into 2 parts, it'll be part of this video. Now what's in here? I'll tell you what's in here, important stuff. The manual, which of course I won't read because I've watched enough videos, I know what to do, but nice to have a manual. But this is that 15.6-inch screen with the Elgato branded. I don't know if can you see the Elgato reflected there on the cleaning cloth. Now, this isn't just like any old screen. It's made for this. If you look here, there's a little indentation with an arrow, and there's a little indentation here. So if you slide this little indentation, there, well, magnets. It's like magic. And the indentation lined right up. Now we have the back plates. This is the one I'm going to use. The camera will slide down in here and get locked in place with a ring that you'll attach to the lens, which we'll get to those in just a second. The camera's going to go down into this. It's going to go on that way. But wait, there's more. There's also for any size camera, if you have a GoCam or a GoPro or webcam or anything, you put this one on here and it has the little black hoods to block the light out. So you can have any size camera that will shoot through a hole that big, which is almost any camera. Well, let's get to this box of accessory. The main thing in this box, this is the thing that attaches to the back here for the camera to sit on. And you can see you can have a fairly long lens because you can put the camera all the way back here. Here are the screws that I will need. Here's that USB 3.2 cable, which I will use to attach my MacBook to this screen. This screen draws its power from your MacBook, so you probably want to have your MacBook plugged in when possible because it will be draining your battery. What are you going to do? It's a good 2-meter cable. It only has to run about 2 feet over here, so this will be fine for me. This is the big thing. Step-up rings, and I believe we go from 49 millimeters. So you have 49 millimeters up to 82 millimeters. So there's 9 step-up rings that come with it. Are you starting to see why it's $600? Wait, we haven't even gotten to the most important part, which is the beam splitter glass. Now this you got to keep clean. Now this has, put it on the tripod first. And don't pick it up by this, because it's just magnetic. Pick it up by the base. Gonna need to mount this here, like so. I like that it says genuine spare parts when they're actually not spare at all. They're parts you need. So see, these go in like so, just thumb screws. And now there's 2 more. One for putting the camera on this and one for putting this on here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here, but I'm not gonna tighten it down. So see if we can adjust this up and down after we get the camera on here. Eventually, we're going to be using this camera right here on here, but for now, so I'm going to stick the A6700 here because it is also an APS-C camera like the FX30 that's going to live here eventually, hopefully soon. Every other lens has the filter thread printed like right here, except apparently Tamron. Well, I have a solution for that. I'll try them all. Oh, so the one I grabbed originally, I thought it said 87, it says 67, and I bet that's the one. It was 67. You drop this in from above. Oh, wait, I have to put it in down here. There we go. So now I'm recording on this guy. Okay, now I have to figure out how to get this on here. Okay, that's grabbed in. There. And then we put this guy on here. Again, facing that way. Plug that in there. Fire up the MacBook. Now I have to download and install the software, which, you know, if I planned ahead, I would have already done.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Now I need to run Camera Hub again. There we go, except everything's backwards. So I imagine somewhere here, horizontal flip. Can y'all see that? I can see that. That's the important thing. And by the way, I can read it, and I mean, well, you can see how close I am. I've been at this for a couple hours. Tell you what I'm going to do. You haven't really seen it working. I don't even know what I'm doing. It's supposed to auto-scroll with voice sync. That's if you're script reading, which I am never going to do. I'm just going to have my notes up here. In fact, but for example, I can say go to display. See, there I have my notes. By the way, these were the notes that I was looking at in my M5 video, 4 times peak GPU performance compared to M4. That's what I kept having to look down for because I couldn't remember it long enough to say it out loud. But now with this, it'll be right in front of me, and so I can just look right into the camera and remember all my things, and I won't be so silly. I'll still be silly because it's me. I think we may call this a video. There will be another video. I've got my new display for my overhead camera, and then I can take this little display and I can put it up on top here so that when it's over there, I can see what that camera is seeing. I think we're going to stop there. I'm not sure if I'm doing everything right, so I want to get it all set up. So basically, there's going to be a part 2. I'm going to set all this stuff up without filming it. So I will have this set up over there where my camera is right now. We'll explore that all in the next video. Now are you convinced I don't use scripts? I just came up here and started setting this up, started talking. Well, this is what happens. Although I guarantee I will still just get up here and start talking a lot of the time, because that's the way I roll. I taught for 30 years. That's how you teach. You get up in front of the room, you have some talking points, and you just sit there and make your points and tell your stories. And that's what I do in these videos. I make my points and tell my stories. That's the story of this video. I'm pretty impressed. It's incredibly sturdy. I don't feel that it's like, this tripod's really solid. This base is really solid. That's it for today. See you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye. Now I got to go do a whole lot of work to get this all set up the way it's supposed to be, and then we'll come back, and in the next video, we'll talk about all that. Thanks for staying to the end. Bye-bye.